Let's get into the site and see what that looks like in real time. You can find the Key Stage 3 content via your Teach section. We can see it clearly here. Let's take a look at the English courses. Using feedback from our dedicated GCSEPod community, we've created an innovative course structure for Key Stage 3, designed to support independent study with formative assessment, personalised next steps, and mastery content built into the learning journey. As we start the course, you can see the total number of lessons available for the student, showing the comprehensive coverage that you've come to expect from GCSEPod. As always, our dyslexia-friendly content promotes engagement without cognitive overload, and you'll see our accessibility controls still available to make sure your students access the content in a comfortable format. We're going to preview the course now, and this gives us the option to view the student experience. All lessons begin with a clear objective, so the student knows what to expect, and a series of vocab cards for literacy support. You'll notice as I move through the lesson, the bar graph at the top of the page travels along to demonstrate if I've spent enough time in this area. If the student moves through too quickly, the system will indicate that they have an incomplete section and suggest they review again. Key Stage 3 brings together the best of everything you know and love about GCSEPod, our fantastic pod content and formative assessment, and it elevates it to create this engaging learning journey with a smooth user experience. You can see here the variety of activities included. We have pods to watch, knowledge checkers and thinking points with the opportunity for students to provide evidence of their work. Let's take a look at one of the pods now.
In 1598, Shakespeare's theatre company, the Lord Chamberlain's Men, were performing at a wooden theatre called the Theatre on the north side of the River Thames in London. The landlord decided he wanted to pull the theatre down. It stood on land which he owned, but he didn't own the theatre itself. Shakespeare tried to persuade him to keep the theatre, but he refused. So, in the middle of the night, on the 28th of December, 1598, the actors in Shakespeare's company secretly dismantled the theatre, piece by piece, and carried it across the River Thames, which had frozen over. They rebuilt their new theatre in Southwark, on the south side of the Thames. They called it the Globe, after the image from Greek mythology of Atlas carrying the world on his back, just like the actors had carried the wooden timbers on their backs. By 1599 it was finished. The yard in the middle was open to the sky and looked like a ringed doughnut from above. It had a thatched roof and was 3 stories high. Incredibly, it could hold up to 3,000 people. The tiring house was where the actors waited before they went on stage. There was a trapdoor in the stage from where witches and ghosts could appear. The gallery was where the musicians sat who played the music for the performances. For the audience, 2 pennies bought you a seat on a bench. The groundlings was the name given to the people who only paid a penny and stood up in the yard at the front right by the stage. In the summer, these people were called the stinkards. The lords' rooms were the more expensive seats. They were undercovered and had a cushion. Money for the tickets was put into a box as the audience came in. So today we buy our theatre tickets from the box offices. In 1613, during a performance, a cannon set fire to the thatched roof and the globe burnt to the ground. Everyone escaped, except for one man, whose trousers caught fire, but they were put out by someone who threw his beer on them. The globe was rebuilt in February 1614.
You can see the pod style is engaging and continues our goal of cramming as much information into a couple of minutes as possible. As a learning resource, we really have got you covered. The course structure guides the students through and maintains engagement with assessment opportunities, providing you with a complete package. Each lesson has the opportunity to complete a mastery task to stretch students and encourage creative thinking alongside support and recommendations for next steps. The students are able to take control of their progress in a low-stakes environment, which could be ideal for absent pupils or ease learning anxiety. As you can see, the structure of the content works perfectly as a homework task or to boost classroom teaching, as the thinking points provide an excellent pause for activity or discussion in class. If you would like to share a course with a class for independent learning, you can share here, or you have the option to set as a homework task here. You're given a share link to post through to another educational platform, as I'm sure you're familiar with. We have made sure the Key Stage 3 content is fully adaptable. You can use the courses, or using the topics area, you can identify each piece of content and utilize it individually. With the option to download or share each item, you're given the flexibility to make sure the content works for you. In order to get a good understanding of the content and the topics covered, you can browse through here, or you can click to download the content list, giving you an easy way to review the content coverage. Let's take a look at the reporting function next. If we navigate back to the course, you can see our reports option here. This table gives us a view of the entire course with all of the lessons and shows how far through the course our students have progressed. Our class is currently getting to grips with Lesson 1 this week. If we click into Lesson 1, we're given details of each individual activity within the lesson and the student engagement throughout. So if I hover here, you can see the time spent on each activity and the scores for their knowledge checkers and the end of topic assessment. Some courses will have the option for students to evidence their thinking with written responses, and you'll be able to view those here. For an in-depth look at student performance in their end of lesson assessment, we're going to navigate back to the Assess area of the site using our left-hand navigation bar. As you can see, this current report gives you an overview of their score. If we want to really dig into that, we have to get into the Check and Challenge reporting system. So click Assess, click our Check and Challenge report area, and let's tell the system what we're looking for. We can use the filters here to identify our class, our subject, and then the assessment that we would like to review. You may be familiar with the format of the Check and Challenge reports here, showing the student attempts in a markbook view, with the target symbol showing where the student asked for a hint, green for correct on the first attempt, amber on the second, and red for incorrect. We can switch to the question detail report, which will highlight for you any top distractors or misconceptions amongst the group. And finally, the student detail report shows performance across the assessment student by student, giving you a clear indication of which students need further support. All of these reports are available for export should you need to view them as a CSV. So we know where to find the content. I do recommend downloading your content list for an easy way to review the content and the topics covered. We know how to share the content and where to find our reports. We are so proud of this new content. Many thanks to our wonderful GCSEPod teaching community for their dedicated work creating the scripts. We're so lucky to have experts on this journey with us. As you know, we are not one to rest on our laurels, and we'll be releasing Key Stage 3 for SPAG, computing and geography in the future. We will make sure to keep you up to date with any new release news. For now, happy podding, and please get in touch with any feedback or questions. I'll hand back to Kate now to review our Q&A box and make sure we've covered everything.